You always know it's getting ready for camp or mini camp or an OTA when it starts to get hot. What's going on, folks? This is Coach Marcus from Pro Fan Talk. It's hot out here. OTAs get started, and wouldn't you know, it jumps up to about 91 degrees. Always happens when camp is about to get started. But I wanted to talk about OTAs real quick. Right now, we're in a situation where the fandom is craving football. Basketball is just about over. We're in the finals. And it seems like a lot of people aren't crazy about Denver and Miami. Take that for what it's worth. But you still got the majority of the fandom craving football and everything, the news and everything that's coming out. D-Hop information just came out. Everybody's, at least up in this area, in the Philadelphia area, wants Howie Roseman to try to go get DeAndre Hopkins so he can join the crew. And you just the fandom and the excitement is at another level right now. And we're not even at camp yet. We're talking about OTAs. We're not even at camp. Already you seeing reports, especially when you're looking at the local coverage of your team, everybody goes overboard with OTAs. OTAs is just a fancy word for practice. Pump your brakes a little bit. Organized team activities. That's what OTAs stand for. I believe you have 10 practices, up to 6 hours per practice, max. That's not a lot of time. If you think about it, 2-hour practice, film time, wait time. If you add it all up, 6 hours in a day is really not a lot of time, start to finish. So ultimately, they're trying to get a lot done in a little bit of time. Plus, you can't hit. You can't go full tilt. Everything, you can have helmets on. Some people, I believe, wear shoulder pads, but for the most part, it's usually just helmets, and that's it. What they're trying to figure out in OTAs is you're just trying to get a gist of what you have. Coaches want to see what they have. OTAs is for the young fellas. They want to try to get acclimated with what's what. You see those reports where such and such looked bad, they were out of shape. All of that type of stuff doesn't really matter because it's just OTAs. The young fellas are trying to get a gist of how things work in their new organization. Second-year vets, new players signed from other teams. You kind of want to get comfortable in your new environment. Now, when camp starts, that's a whole nother set of circumstances. But ultimately, OTAs is trying to bring everybody together so everybody can kind of get on the same page. So you can just know which coaches want you there 10 minutes early, 15 minutes early, 20 minutes early. You get the playbook. You can start studying. You get a gist of what the schedule is going to be like when you finally do get to camp. And for the young players, for the undrafted free agents, you still got to treat it like an audition because you might not be invited back to camp. Or something could happen and you could get cut. They might release you if they... Prime example, the Eagles signed DeAndre Hopkins. Most likely, somebody is going to get voted off the island. Now, a lot of times, what they'll do is they will bring in camp bodies. Basically, they're just signing you so they can have you in camp. But they have no intentions of keeping you. Sometimes you get the fairy tale, you'll make a big play, and they manage to keep you, you get your career started. But for the most part, if you are a camp body, they are using you so they don't have to beat up the guys they're paying all the money to. That's a real situation. So if you are an undrafted free agent, a rookie, you are on an audition. Because if you get cut there and you got good tape, somebody else might see you and bring you in. So you always want to be on your best behavior. OTAs is for the young fellas. You get a gist of what you have on your team. You can look at people in real time and say, oh, he's in shape, he's not in shape. I didn't realize that guy was as fast as he is. I didn't realize that guy was as tall as he is. This guy's got a nice wingspan. You can see all of that stuff in real time, standing next to somebody else. So you get a good gauge of physically how your team looks. I don't want to hear too much about Jalen Hurts dropping dimes or Aaron Rodgers dropping dimes to his receivers and stuff like that. Yeah, that stuff sounds good, but you throwing against air. You don't have any real competition. The rush is not on you, so you're just trying to get that muscle memory back, knock off the rust, and get your juices flowing again. And if you are a vet at OTAs, basically you just helping out the young fellas, trying to point them in the right direction so they can get acclimated. I'm going to have a series of videos coming up in the future about what young rookies should expect going into camp, specifically undrafted free agents, because that's a whole nother set of circumstances. I'm excited for football to get started, but pump the brakes on the OTAs. Enjoy it. Look at it for what it's worth. I don't want to hear much about Jalen Carter broke a blocking sled. I said this last night on my podcast. In the words of Bruce Lee, boards don't hit back. So that's great that he broke a blocking sled. That doesn't mean anything to me. He's not going up against anybody. We knew he was strong. We knew he was fast. The most exciting thing I saw or read about in the Eagles OTA so far is Jordan Davis looking slim and trim and looking fast out of his stance. That excites me. Because again, you can see the physicality and if somebody lost weight or if somebody reported in shape, things like that. That's the type of stuff you want to look for in OTAs. Whether or not they broke a sled, that's fun for the news media. But as somebody that's been in the camp, that really don't mean nothing. Pump the brakes on that type of stuff. We will get ready for when the real camp starts and we can see what's what. I hope you guys like this content. Please continue to subscribe, click that notification bell, and I need you guys to get ready for the next play.